What does being a great stand-up comedian have anything to do with finding the love of your life, or being great at dating, or being a great fighter, or being a great businessman or woman, being successful and being happy in life? What do all these things have to do with each other? Well, I've wanted to make this video for quite a long time, actually. How to be a great stand-up comedian. Being a great stand-up comedian it's all about how do you handle rejection? How do you handle adversity? How do you handle being a loser? And that's the same thing about being great at anything in life, being a great fighter, or finding the love of your life, being able to handle the increasingly brutal, emotionally brutal world of dating, right? Which is all about how do you handle rejection. Another aspect of how to be a great stand-up comedian is, which again is linked to all of the other things I just mentioned, being a great fighter, being great with the opposite sex, being great with, in relationships, being great at business, being great at anything in life, is having your center, why are you doing this? Like a great stand-up comedian, at the end of the day, is telling jokes to him or herself, is entertaining him or herself, is making themselves laugh. And it's about not giving a fuck about what everyone else thinks. It's about you coming first, not in a selfish way, not in a, not in an arrogant way. It's about going at your pace. It's about self-love. It's about, great stand-up comedian makes themselves laugh first, entertains themselves first, and brings everyone else in that room or in that environment into their world. Because it's very easy for us all to lose ourselves. And every day we're going on YouTube, every day we're watching TV, every day we're going into the lives and worlds of others, and we're more interested in others than we are in ourselves. And that can make us weaker. It can bring our self-esteem down. It can bring our confidence down. A good stand-up comedian, actually a great stand-up comedian, the difference between a good stand-up comedian and a great stand-up comedian is a great stand-up comedian entertains themselves first, makes themselves laugh first, says funny shit in their own head to entertain themselves, and then shares that with everyone else and doesn't give a fuck what anyone else thinks. And there will be rejection, there will be failure, there will be bombing, and it will be a case of resiliency. Who's gonna give up and who's gonna keep coming back? And why is it that in relationships it's gonna be the guy, let's just look at it from a guy's perspective for now, the guy who goes on a date with this gorgeous girl who he's super attracted to, and as soon as he sees her, starts to lose himself. How? It can work the other way. A girl who shows up on a date with a guy who's just so gorgeous and good looking, and suddenly just starts to lose herself, right? What do I mean by that? I mean, they've suddenly been presented by someone who they think, you know what, I'm willing to change myself to get this person. I'm willing to change my personality, become a pleaser, try to serve this person. By doing that, you start to put that person up on a pedestal, right? You start to look up at that person. But it's a mistake, because to be more attractive to that person, the real path is to just be more of yourself, to just go at your pace. Remember, the stand-up comedian isn't going to be out there just to please everyone. That's the difference between a good stand-up comedian and a great stand-up comedian. A great stand-up comedian, of course, will keep everyone in mind, and and of course, if you go on a date or if you're meeting people, there's a balance. You don't want to be completely cold and selfish and not give a fuck about your date or care about your date or who you're with at all. No, that's too extreme. But you don't want to do the other extreme of like only being there to serve everyone else. You've got to enjoy yourself, because when you enjoy yourself, that's when the best comes out of you. What we talk about when we talk about self-love all the time is, why is self-love so important? We call it self-love, but it's, at the end of the day, it's self-respect, self-care, giving yourself that value, serving yourself, loving yourself, enjoying your experience, enjoying your ride. A lot of people, when they go on dates and they find that, oh, this person is so gorgeous, and oh my God, I don't know if I can be with this person. Like, can I get this person? And then they start to like forget about themselves. And when you forget about yourself, it's just a matter of time until things start to collapse and fail, because it's not sustainable. It's draining. You'll get exhausted, and eventually the truth will come out. Who you are will come out at some point. But having that not give a shit attitude, there's a few ways that you can get there, but one of the ways a lot of people get there, including great stand-up comedians, great fighters, even people who wind up becoming great in relationships or at business, one of the ways they get to that place is by failing so much, being rejected so much. I'm sure you've all felt rejection. Rejection is one of the most painful feelings we can feel. When you get rejected over and over, when you, as a stand-up comic, fail and bomb live on stage, or if I'm a performer, a music performer, when you fail live over and over and over again, or fighting, when you lose, or fighting is all about failure. It's all about every day you're going to get your ass kicked by someone, every day. So once you get to the point where you just realize, fuck it, like, I'm just going to keep showing up, and I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to do this for myself. And then when you show up to that date and you're confronted with someone who's just gorgeous, and you feel like, oh my God, this person's out of my league, or whatever thought goes into your head where you're like, oh, I want to get this person. When you've gone through plenty of failure, plenty of rejection, you will show up to that date to enjoy yourself. You'll show up to that date to just have a good time. And it does help that you've gone through all that rejection over and over, because then you know that, hey, I'm not going to try to, I'm not going to change myself to get this person, because I know that that's not going to work. I will not be functioning at my best. I will not be that lively, energized. I won't be me. I won't be who I am. And you'll always be your best when you are being yourself. You will always be your best, but we're terrified to be ourselves. Why? Because we're terrified of failure. We're terrified of rejection. We're terrified not of losing the hot guy or the hot girl, or we're not afraid of losing a fight. We're not afraid of people, not liking us. At the end of the day, we don't care about that shit. What we truly care about is what we think of ourselves. You know, what we're afraid of, that validation. We're afraid of, like, well, if everyone else thinks I'm like this, well, then maybe I do suck, you know, or maybe I am unattractive, or maybe. So when we go on a successful day, or when we have a successful fight, it just sort of like, it's like proof to ourselves that we are good at something or great at something. But the truth is, we don't need that proof. We know deep inside who we are anyway. But when we give our power away, when we give that permission to other people to judge us, then we can open ourselves up to a lot of pain and suffering. You know, so being a great stand-up comedian, first and foremost, is about loving yourself. It's about self-love. It's about, why am I doing this? Do I want to do this? Do I want to be there? Do I want to be in this fight? Do I want to be on this stage? Do I want to be on this date? Right? And if you don't want to be there, it's not going to go well, because at the end of the day, we all get what we want. We all get what we want. And what you have right now in life, believe it or not, in my opinion, based on my experience in life, it's what you want. Okay? More likely than not, you are where you are because that's what you want, or it's what you deep inside at a subconscious level believe you need to experience. Whether it's constantly breaking up, constantly in relationships that are failing, constantly, repeating the same patterns, you are giving yourself that challenge, that suffering, until you learn, until you wake up, until you grow. And we inflict a lot of suffering on ourselves. We inflict a lot of this stuff on ourselves, rejection on ourselves. I 100% believe that if you meet someone and you really want to be with that person, there's nothing that will stop you. You will suddenly find that you will get in this flow state and you will take it seriously. You're going to switch on. It's the same thing with being in a fight. You can win that fight if you really want to, but the key is wanting it. Like fighters, when they are in the middle of like their fights, in between rounds, I hear this all the time. Their corners will tell them, how bad do you want this? Do you want to be here? Do you want this? Do you want the belt? And it's the same with being a great stand-up comedian. It's the same with being great in a relationship, being great on dates, being great in business. Do you want this? Do you really want it? Because if you really, with all your heart, want it, then nothing can stop you from getting it. But the honest truth is, most of us, we don't want it. We'd rather just be at home, in our comfort zone, just watching YouTube or watching movies or, whatever it is. And when we get on the stage or in the cage or on a date or whatever it is, in life, we become too afraid of failure, and we start to think too much about what other people want and what other people think, and we lose ourselves. I can tell you that if you're dating at the moment, or if you're trying to get in a relationship, or if you're looking for a relationship or whatever, there's nothing more unattractive than you trying to please someone else constantly. It's just, it's not attractive, because think about it. Wouldn't it be great if you went on a date with someone who just guided you? on the date. Like say, oh, let's go here, or oh, I found this great restaurant around the corner, or hey, after the restaurant, let's go for a walk and let's do this and do that. Wouldn't that be pretty awesome? Like if you went on it's like those package holidays or those package cruises where you don't have to plan anything. Someone's guiding you, right? Now it's the same for the person you're going on a date with. They're more than likely looking to you for that leadership, especially if you're a guy and you're taking a girl or a woman out on a date. They want to. They're interested in your world, right? They're interested in who you are. So enjoy yourself. Do the things you would love to do, rather than thinking while you're on a date like, oh, what should I do now? Should I do this? Should I do that? Will she like this? Will he like that? Maybe I should do this. Or there has to be a little bit of that, but a little bit of that. Just a little, maybe 20, 30%, it should be that. The rest of it should be you presenting who you are. Because we live in a world now where dating, and not just dating, but a lot of things are becoming really easy for everyone. Everyone is able to share their voice. Look at YouTube. Everyone's able to share. It's easy nowadays to go on. Or I should say it's a lot more accessible to everyone to find a date, to go on dates because of the dating apps and all this. And there will be an endless stream of people. You'll think, oh no, she was super hot, there won't be another one like her. Or he was just perfect or super amazing, there won't be another one like him. There will be an endless stream. If you live in the States, there's this restaurant, I think it's Red Lobster, they have endless shrimp. There's going to be endless dates. There's going to be endless hot people. Endless. You think that, oh no, there's just that one. But no, there's going to be another one. There'll be another and another and another. It's endless. And they'll just get this hotter and hotter and more gorgeous, because everyone is unique and everyone is gorgeous in their own respect, and you're just, we live like, as I always say, we're blessed to be alive. This is a blessing. Being here, it's like, it could be heaven, and we just maybe don't realize it. So nature gives us plenty of chances. The sun is always going to rise again tomorrow, and you're going to get another chance. But not if you keep holding on. Not if you keep you went on a, let's say, date, or you had a stand-up comedy show and it was terrible. If you hold on to that, if you hold on to the last date, if you keep the photos or the conversations, or you keep messaging the person, or you keep, you can't let go, well then, yeah, you're going to continue to suffer. And then, yes, hey, what you do repetitively, it becomes a habit. So if I'm going to do push-ups every day, my body's going to reflect that, and I'll create habit of that. I'm going to want and need to keep training. And if I go on a, let's say, have a bad fight, or let's say if I go on a bad date, well, it's going to hurt, of course. Rejection hurts. It's supposed to hurt, but hopefully you learn something from it. And yes, it's going to hurt, so pay attention to that part. A lot of people I work with have a lot of difficulty with this fact that, hey, there is pain. You're going to be depressed sometimes. Rejection hurts. Making mistakes, slipping up, whatever. These things, they hurt. But it won't last. We're in a constant state of healing. We're constantly healing, but it's just up to us if we're going to allow ourselves to heal and move on and move forward and let go, right? And there's so many ways to do that. The most important ways are to, first of all, let go. Stop holding on to whatever that thing was, by either texting the same person or looking at their Facebook or their social media or whatever. You're going to keep holding on. You're going to keep suffering, right? But if you can just let go, accept that, oh, okay, well, there is endless lobster, there is endless shrimp, there's endless people out there, and there's so many. There's not just one or two like soulmates out there for us, for you. There are hundreds of thousands of them. Hundreds of thousands of them. So you might as well just be yourself, and it's just a matter of time until you learn this, until we all learn this, that, you know, stop trying and just be. Just stop trying. And, you know, eventually nature is going to beat it out of you, beat the hell out of you until you realize, you know what, I'm just going to be myself. And then you'll find that the people that go into dates and they're just themselves, they are fucking hot as hell, attractive as hell, because they don't care, they don't give a fuck. They're not trying to please. They're not there like infatuated with the person they're with, like, oh my god, this person, and then they start thinking, oh, having sex with this person would be amazing. Oh, what would my friends think if I'm with this person? What would these people, what would my ex think? Whoa, if she sees me with this, or he sees me with this guy. You know, our mind, we lose ourselves. We lose the whole plot. We lose the point. If you're going out with, if you're a guy and you're going out with a girl, I gotta say, like, women are a lot more emotionally mature than men. You know, it's like women are kind of like waiting for men to grow up, you know? And in the meantime, sadly, a lot of women are losing their ways too because of, you know, gotta be honest here and say, because there's a lot of crazy men out there who are pretty lost, you know? So, but women are a lot more emotionally mature. Hey, women aren't perfect either. Women also, there's a lot of things that men have to watch out for women, because women, you know, there's that saying that I've said it before on this channel that, you know, men use love to get sex, women use sex to get love. And what does that mean? It means that sometimes women will find a guy who is really, like, really into them, but they know that they aren't going to sleep with this guy. And they can use that guy to boost their self-confidence, boost their self-esteem. Why? Because it's not about relationship, it's about, hey, I got a fan here, and this fan is going to make me feel better, right? But that's unhealthy too, because girls, women, anyone, people who are like that are always going to need fans to feel wholeness, to feel confident, to feel strong, to feel energized. So that's a dependency. And it's an unhealthy dependency, because at the end of the day, you're going to have like wind up with a gang or army of guys who are just putting you up on a pedestal, and you're just going to need more and more and more of that. And it's unsustainable as well. And for guys, it's the other way around, right? So a lot of men use love to get sex, and what does that mean? They'll use kindness and love, and, oh yeah, tell me about your day, or how are you? And it's fake, right? They just want to get the sex. But eventually, once you've had enough sex, or you've hooked up enough, you'll realize that, you know what, it's kind of overrated. Yeah, sex is amazing, right? Intimacy is amazing. You know, touch is amazing. But what's more amazing is regular sex with someone you have good connection with someone you don't have to put a lot of effort into pleasing and trying to, like, be this other person that you think they like, right? At the end of the day, it's that they are going to be super. You think that, oh, I have to, like, present this personality, and again, it comes back to stand-up comedy. You think that you have to present this personality to everyone so that they'll like it, but what is it that people love? Well, who are the greatest stand-up comics out there that people love? You know, the Dave Chappelle's, the Chris Rocks, you know, Patrice O'Neill's of the world. There's lots. Well, what is it we love about them the most? What we love about them the most is that they are themselves, and they don't give a fuck. And they got there, a lot of them, because of a lot of rejection, a lot of failure, to the point where they finally learned, they finally became refined through that process of rejection and failure. They finally learned and realized what works. And what works is them enjoying themselves, enjoying their ride, enjoying their life. And through that suffering, through that constant failure and rejection, they have learned that what lasts and what's strong and what will go on is being able to convert something bad into the total opposite, which is what really, like, why we love stand-up comedy so much, or just comedy so much, is it's alchemy. Stand-up comics, or great comedians, they'll take something that's maybe depressing or sad, a sad, depressing, or bad, horrible truth, and they will make it funny. They'll completely convert it, you know, into something that's hilarious. They'll take darkness and they'll convert it into light. And that's one of the most attractive qualities, probably the most attractive qualities that any human can possess. Especially, again, not to get too male and female here, but especially for a man. Like, women find that so attractive. Why? Because it shows strength. It shows that no matter what this guy goes through, he still sees the positivity, he still sees the light, he still sees the funny, the funniness in it. And that's what we love about stand-up comedy, is we can go into this room where the person on stage is actually more of a prophet and is going to help us through difficult topics, difficult things that would normally bring us down or make us angry or divide us or make us sad. And they're going to make us laugh and realize that, hey, you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that serious. And hey, we're all on this journey of life together, and let's not make it such a big, bad, difficult thing. We can actually enjoy it. We can enjoy the ride, right? So great stand-up comedy is great alchemy. It's great taking something terrible and bringing something beautiful or amazing or funny out of it, right? Great stand-up comics are great fighters, because it's the same thing. A great fighter is someone who gets beaten down constantly, but will always constantly see the opportunity. Even if he or she is on the floor, someone's on top of them, beating them up, that again is what it's all about. It's about, in that moment, is that person going to focus on, this person's kicking my ass, I'm going to lose, I'm weaker, this person's stronger, or is that person going to think like a great stand-up comic would, taking a terrible subject and then find the opportunity, find the hope, find the light in there, right? So you're on the floor, you're getting beaten up, a great fighter will be like, in their mind, will be thinking, oh, this guy is making a big mistake by jumping on me. I'm about to eat them up. Why would a little monkey jump on a lion? That's what a great fighter would think. I've been in, those situations. I've been training now, 9 years, and most recently got my brown belt back there, which is it doesn't mean anything. It's just a piece of, material. But the experience, 9 years of training, some of the things that I've learned are it's just like a blessing, really. The other day I was rolling with someone who didn't know who they were. I thought this could be a white belt, it could be a beginner, it could be a blue belt. Didn't know. I rolled with this person. This person was one of the best people I've ever rolled with. I just bumped into them in a gym. And turns out it's a high-level black belt who was there training professional fighters, someone who had a UFC fight coming up. I've trained with UFC fighters a lot from day one, so that's okay, but the lesson that I learned from this experience, rolling with this person, was amazing, because was one of the toughest people I've rolled with. Super, super strong. Bigger, stronger, you know, was able to do things to me that no one's, you know, really ever done to me. The following day, I went in the gym, and people that I, you know, usually might struggle with were now much easier. And I've experienced this very interesting thing where I will be in the middle of a fight with someone and who is very competitive with me, who's super strong, and when you're fighting or grappling or whatever, and when you're tense, your opponent can feel it. And when you're tense, it means you're afraid. It means that you are not comfortable, and obviously it means that there's something, you know, you're worried, right? So after I had rolled with this black belt the previous day, who I didn't know who he was, you know, but then later we exchanged contact, and I went online and I was like, holy shit, this is, you know, quite a very high-level person. Trains with, I was, you know, one of my favorite fighters, Nick Diaz, you know. So I was blown away. It was an amazing experience, but super humble. So I have recently found that when you're tense, you give opportunities to people. They can feel your attention. They can feel your... So I was rolling with this person the following day who I normally have a very tough time with, and I was holding on to them. I took them down, held on to them, and then I was tense because I thought, oh, this guy's strong. He's going to jump up and get away, probably. Or this is going to be a real battle. I'm going to get drained here. But then I thought, in that moment, I thought of myself the previous day fighting against this crazy, crazy, super strong black belt. And then I imagined that I was fighting that black belt in that moment. This all happened right in the middle of my fight. And as soon as my mind got into that state of I'm fighting against that black belt, I became super calm and relaxed. And I realized the guy I was fighting was nothing, not on the same level as that other guy. And then it immediately, like the response from my opponent was instant. As soon as I relaxed, my opponent started getting dominated. I started dominating him. He relaxed. Why? Because I believe that he could sense that my confidence. He could sense that because I had relaxed, it's a sign of confidence, right? So it's something that I've been experiencing the last year now when I'm training. So there's lessons in that. The lesson is that when you go on a date, when you're on stage, when you're performing, you gotta just enjoy it. You gotta be there for you. And another video someday I'll make, which I think is one of the most important topics we all need to like learn and become better at, which is how do I want it? How to want something. How to really want something. Because if we're all honest with ourselves, many of us don't really want. We don't want to be great. We don't want to be happy. We don't want the success. We would rather just be in our comfort zone and be left alone and just get on with things the way they are, right? So how do you want it? Winning, it takes effort, right? And we're kind of like, God, it's going to take a lot of effort. Being successful, being like a Conor McGregor, with it comes all this effort and work and, you know, all of this. So subconsciously, deep inside, a lot of us, we're just content with our lives, with chilling. The other day, I saw an interview of Elon Musk, and the guy sleeps on a couch, and not a very comfortable couch, you know. And that's Elon Musk. Everyone probably thinks this guy is sleeping on a bed, like someone's feeding him grapes, and he's just, you know, being pampered constantly. No, many of us out there live better, live in more comfort than these people, than the Oprah Winfreys, than the Elon Musks, than the Conor McGregors. Those people they've chosen the path of suffering, you know, of work. And they're showing up. They're just showing up, and that's the word. That's the big word. Just show up. Just show up. Are you gonna fuck up at your date? Yes, you are. Are you gonna get rejected? Yes, you're gonna get rejected over and over and over. Are you gonna lose fights? Yes. Are you going to have terrible stand-up comedy nights and shows? Yes. Are you going to have terrible gigs, when you're playing with your bands and whatever? Yes. Yes. It's going to happen. You're going to get rejected. You're going to fail. You're going to be hurt. It's part of life. But when you show up on that next date, on that next show, at that next fight, and people see that, wow, he or she, they're still there, and they give a fuck less than they did before. Or you show up to a new date, and that person's meeting you for the first time, but you're more mature this time. You're more mature. You're there to enjoy yourself first. You're going to walk down the boardwalk, and you're going to do what you want to do. You're going to be like, hey, let's go in there. Because you want to go in that shop. You want to go check it out. It's almost like, imagine that you're on your own. What would you do if you were on your own? So it's the difference between losing yourself and being with yourself. Remember when you're on a date. Remember when you're doing a stand-up comic show. You are your first audience. You please yourself first. Don't ignore yourself. Don't just throw yourself out of the way and be like, I'm going to serve this person. I'm going to be here to pleasure this person. I want to please this person so I can get that sex, or I can get that fame, or I can get that power. It's the wrong way to approach it. And the universe will teach you through suffering, through failure, until you, as Einstein, I don't know who said it, insanity is the definition of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So if you're going to just keep suffering and keep repeating the same patterns over and over again, you're going to just keep suffering until you just try something different. And that's how we've learned all these things. I didn't come up with all these things myself. I learned from people. Yes, of course I've learned a lot of things myself too. But how did I learn all this? I learned a lot from people who tried one way and were failing and suffering and being depressed and rejected and going on dates and just losing and crying and being sad and thinking, oh, I'll never find everyone, I'll be alone, and my life will be miserable and this, and then they're like, well, let me try something else. Let me try just going on a date and enjoying myself. Or let me try going on, doing a stand-up show once and just enjoy myself. Look, this medal right here, I want to show everyone this, all right? You see it? This is last year. I have competed a lot. I've had the opportunity of getting placed, getting medals. This isn't my only medal. I've got a lot of them. They're not all gold. I've got a lot of bronze medals. I've got silver. I've got all kinds of medals. But this one is important to me, not because it's gold, because when I went into this tournament, I didn't give a shit. That whole day, I went into that tournament and I thought, I don't care about winning or losing or anything. I want to enjoy myself. I got super high and I just got in the zone. I didn't think about anybody else. I just thought, my goal for this competition is to be relaxed. I don't want to get nervous and panic and all of that. I just want to go in and be relaxed. I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it for myself. And that happened, right? Now, it's not going to happen every time. Maybe I'll go in and again to future tournaments with that mentality, and I could lose in my first match or second match or whatever. But at least I'll enjoy it because I was there and I was enjoying myself. If I go on a date and I'm there just paying for my date and I'm there to please them and I'm not even being myself, I'm being someone who I'm not, then even if it goes well or not, I will have wasted my day and I would have been upset and angry and, depressed and all of this. But even if the date, if we don't click, but you're yourself and you don't care and you're just going to go there to just meet someone, which I know it's very difficult, because when we are confronted with someone who's attractive, or we want to please, or an audience, if we're we want to please them, we want them to enjoy the experience and all this. But again, like I said, it's another funny trick of the universe, like that slip knot, where if you pull it tighter, it just gets stronger. A slip knot, you've got to like relax and release it to open it. And it's the same weird, funny little trick on this earth that if you try harder, it tends to make things worse. You want to just be yourself. Yes, I'm not saying that you're going to wing it all the time. You got to train. We got to train. We got to practice. We got to, I can't just show up to a day or do stand-up or a show or a fight with zero training, zero preparation. No, you got to prepare. You got to look good on a date, right? You got to look healthy. You got to have an interesting, in order to be more attractive, you got to be, it helps to like be more attractive. Well, what is being attractive? Aren't you attracted by people who have interesting lives, who have fun, who enjoy themselves, who enjoy their lives, who are healthy, right? So just a few thoughts there, and I hope they help. That yes, it takes a tremendous leap of faith to go on a stage or in a cage or on a date and to just go in there and be yourself, and just be yourself, and just be like, you know what, this is for me, I'm doing this for me, And then if you can do that, hey, why not just try it out? Try it out as an experiment, like that, for me, that was an experiment last year. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go in and I just want to have fun. Like, everyone's stressing out and everyone's nervous and everyone's getting pumped up. I just went in there and I focused and wanted to enjoy the experience. Because we only live once at the end of the day. And we all know this. Tomorrow, we don't know what's going to happen. So being able to want it, being able to enjoy the moment, it's not going to happen overnight either. It takes preparation. Meditation helps, because meditation is about training your focus so that you're not going to get distracted by those thoughts that I mentioned earlier. Oh, what if this, what if that, or what if she or he thinks this, or maybe I should say or do this. Those are distracting thoughts, where your focus really ought to be on, wow, what a beautiful day, and I'm having this great meal, and I'm with this cool person who I've just met, and I'm exchanging information, learning from them, and it's a great experience. When you go into it like that, I can't tell you how much more attractive you will be. I'll end it with this interesting thing. Biologically, we have these things called mirror neurons. I've talked about them before in previous videos. And a mirror neuron is, let's say you see someone step on something sharp and they go, ow! Well, our mirror neurons within us will feel that pain. We'll be like, oh! So that's how we can go into other people's worlds, So if you can genuinely laugh, a real genuine laugh on a date, well, that person's going to come into your world, and he or she's going to be like, oh, wow, this person's awesome. That's such a great energy. But if you're trying to laugh or trying to present this fake, persona of someone positive and funny, you're going to feel miserable in there. It's going to take a lot of effort, to do that. And the more effort you make, that type of effort, it's just draining and it's not sustainable, It's the same with the stand-up, a great stand-up comedian is going to make themselves laugh on stage. And when you make yourself laugh first, everyone else is going to laugh too. Well, a lot of people will laugh too. And it's the same when I'm on stage and I'm playing music. It's for me, it's for my band, it's for us. We are in the moment and we are enjoying the moment, and everyone else can feel it radiating out of us. And if it's mirror neurons and beyond, there is that connection that takes place. But finally, I'm just going to say that a lot of these things start, like musician just will be on a street and he's playing or she's playing for themselves. And then other people connect with that. They draw people to them. Okay? And it's the same with this YouTube channel. I just started off by me I wanted to just speak, and just share what's inside, what I feel, what I believe. And if you're able to do that genuinely, there will always be people who will connect with you. There's millions, billions of people on this earth. There's bound to be some people that you're going to connect with. So just be yourself. And it's again, it works with stand-up comedy, it works with dating. Be yourself and just, date when you're ready to date. Date when you're strong, because there's a lot of rejection in dating. There's a lot of rejection in fighting, in stand-up comedy, in everything, in life. Life is full of rejection, right? So you don't want to constantly keep sabotaging and hurting yourself, and not learning, So learn, make the adjustments, and then do better next time. All right? So the sun will rise tomorrow. We get chances every day. The universe is just, this world we live in is amazing. We will fuck up, we'll get depressed, we'll get angry, we'll feel like everything is over, there's no point to anything, and then the sun rises the next day and we feel better. And as long as we don't keep holding on and messing shit up for ourselves, we are in a natural state of just healing. So we just gotta let ourselves heal, reduce the number of things that make us feel like shit, and increase the things that make us feel better, and have the courage to do those things even though they might be hard. Taking cold showers every day or every other day. That's facing difficulty, training yourself to handle worse than rejection is a cold shower, or maybe arguably the same. Anyway, the mouth of the ape rambles on, so let's end this. And I'm sending everybody out there all the very best. Keep your heads up. Life is amazing. Life is amazing, okay? And have that courage to see what you're doing, the patterns that you might be repeating, and then try something different. Okay, try just going into it and be yourself and enjoy it. Do it for yourself and see what happens. I'm not saying you should be a dick and ignore the person you're on a date with, or ignore your audience, or ignore, whatever. No, they're there too. They're part of the experience, but don't forget yourself. Don't forget yourself, okay? So find that balance and work on it and train it, and keep me updated. And yeah, if you guys are digging this channel, the more, I guess, I'm not one of these people that's going to be like and subscribe and share and all that. If you want to do it, you're going to do it, I'm sure. But yeah, I am going to put more and more into this channel. I'd love to eventually start interviewing people too, like interesting interviews. I'd like to interview people that have accomplished things, so that that they're the best people to learn. You want to learn about how to be good in a relationship? Go ask someone who's great in a relationship. You want to learn how to be a great stand-up comedian? Go spend more time, talk to great stand-up comedians. Okay? All right, everyone. Adios for now. Have a great week ahead, and stay focused. Meditate more. Adios for now. Bye.